What you waiting for? It's time. Time for love. It's time. Time for the sun and sand. It's time. Time for fun. It's time. It's time. It's time to let your hair down. Come on. Come on. Come on. To have no fear. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's time. What you waiting for? It's time. 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 What you waiting for?
It is there. He's counted it down. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, all you beautiful people, thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Merv Brito Show. My name is Merv Brito, and I thank you for being with us. As we always do, it's a horrible Sunday, by the way. It's miserable, it's rainy, it's nasty, so I'm actually happy to be indoors with the team that I always introduce and say thank you to, whom without I could not do what I do. In the studio today, we have the one and only Mr. Ajoy Barreto.
Hey guys, I love this kind of weather, by the way.
Yeah, when you're inside, dude. You know what I mean? It's not the kind of weather you wanted outside.
Yeah, it's raining outside, which I love, and your hospitality, Mo, a deadly duo.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, it's a good call.
Oh, man. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mr. Wilbert Cardozo.
Hello, everyone.
Sialam Tomarito.
Yep.
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
We don't have, I'm going to introduce her last because she's not here in the studio. We've got Mr. Neil Rodricks in the studio, but he doesn't have a mic. Hi, Neil. He can still hear you, dude.
What's up, everyone?
There you go. Thank God you can't be seen. He's a face that needs to be seen and not heard. Sorry, heard and not seen. The one and only Mr. Yusuf Mataji, who's not in the studio. And last but definitely not least, the wordsmith. I'm going to call her. It makes her sound like a wizard, no? The wordsmith, my fashion designer. She's missing. She's in England currently. The one and only Mrs. Joanne Brito.
Joanne, we miss you. We miss you in the studio.
Quick
Good evening, everybody. I have to say the weather is beautiful here. So it's nice and sunshiny, and the multiple ticket match blue. So I'm glad that the weather's holding.
I never believed I'd be actually saying that, yeah? The weather's nicer in the UK than it is here. What are you doing in the UK? Again, you just came back. How? Just what the hell's going on, Joanne?
Well, I'm very lucky to be here because my best friend's son is getting married in Ireland next week, so really looking forward to attending Luke and Claire's wedding in Southern Ireland, so really, really excited for that. So
Wonderful.
I'm flying over there on Tuesday.
Wonderful to have you with us. Can we see? Actually, we're going to see her. Ladies and gentlemen, like we do every week, this is a live show. The Merv Brito Show is a live show, and you can tell by the number of things that happen live during the show. This is not edited. And just like Joanne Brito, you can call into us every time we do the show. We love the interaction. We want you to get involved. There it is. Our social media handles, wherever you get your social media from, the Merv Brito Show. If you want to get in touch with us, you want to go live on the air, the number is 750-7246-246. You can call us. You can go live on the air. Where is she? Are we going to show her or not? Naka?
Joanne, yes, definitely.
Just like Joanne with us on the air on WhatsApp video, 750-7246-246. I have had the strangest, we've had we're going to talk so much about Independence Day, but I've had the strangest week because I got a break earlier than normal. There she is. I've had a break earlier than normal. It feels like I'm on Sunday. Obviously it is Sunday, but it feels like I'm getting my second Sunday because I got to sleep in. Celebrated Independence Day a couple of days ago. Had a really, really nice, relaxing day. How you doing, Joanne?
Hey, good to see you.
There's a huge delay, dude. I got to spend some time with the boys. We played some poker, and it was so nice and relaxing. I didn't have to do any work, and I gotta be, speaking of poker, I gotta mention one of my boys, one of the guys. I can't mention his name. Baba, very good boy. He's a very generous boy. Big talker, yeah. He's one of my favorites. Maxine, I'll call him Maxine Menezes. All the big talk at the table, and then he got his ass spanked. Going very nice boy. Huh? Baba can't speak a fucking lick of Konkani, by the way. He's a going boy that doesn't speak Konkani. Anyway, I took him to the cleaners, left him without basically his shirt or his pants. But we had a really good time. I got a nice day in, a relaxing day to do nothing. So it is good to be back on the show, to have another Sunday come around. I wish the weather was nicer out there. So wherever you are and wherever you tuned in, I hope you're having a great week or a great weekend. Ajoy.
Yes, Marv.
We just celebrated. By the way, happy belated Independence Day and the feast, what is Wilbert reminded us, no? The Feast of the Assumption.
Yes, Assumption of Mother Mary.
Did you have a nice week, Willie?
A long week.
Long week, mate. You had a short week. What do you mean a long week? You had 3-day week. You had Wednesday. You worked till Wednesday. You got Thursday off. Worked Friday, and you got what? What are you? Snowflake. I'm gonna start calling you Snowflake. We got the wordsmith in the UK, and we got a snowflake in the office. Get out, yeah.
Well, 5 days were working. On the Independence Day, I had gone to Kandolim Church. Actually, they celebrate the feast over
Of the
there.
Assumption.
Yes.
It's been, I might get used to having these short weeks. You only work a couple of days of the week. We work hard. We do what we do. But you know what? Like my grandpa said, if you do a job that you love, you'll never work a day in your life. That's a good, you know what? I love that phrase, because we do work hard, and people say, oh my God, you work so hard, but I do love what I do. We want to celebrate Independence Day. We've had a bunch of promos that the Master Niels put out, telling you about how we want to make sure that we give thanks or thank the people that do so much. Independence Day is about our freedom fighters. But for me, it's a lot to do with the people that keep those freedoms in place, right?
Who are you talking about, Marv?
Our military, the men and women that serve in our military that protect the rights and the freedoms that we enjoy every day.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
I got to tell you, mate, we don't do enough for Independence Day. 15th August comes around, you got people waving flags, and it's more a superficial thing. You enjoy the day off, like I just mentioned, but it is so sad because everywhere in the world, people celebrate their men and women in uniform. Independence Day, 4th of July is the Independence Day in the States. We've got Veterans Day in the States, and they've made a big deal about, you have fireworks displays and have all kinds of what are they called? What would they be called? Celebrations?
Celebrations, remembrances.
Acknowledgements of the people that do so much, right? The people that have done so much, that paved the way for us. And just like here, with like people like Mahatma Gandhi and Nehru and all those people that got us our independence in 1947, I think of Independence Day and think about the men and women in the military that are going through so much, and they risk their lives just to protect and have us enjoy what we do. So we wanted to do this show and dedicate it to all the people in the military. Although you've got a military parade, right? You got an Independence Day parade in Delhi?
We do, but I'm getting a sense that what you're saying, that in the United States on the 4th of July, it's about the military men and women, both past and present, that have helped keep the United States secure. So you're saying that it should be about the military people first, and then of course the other celebrations come in. Is that what you're saying?
No, we're talking about two different topics. We're talking about the independence of a country, which is 15th of August, right? But we want to celebrate the freedom fighters. We've spoken so much about them, but for me, when I talk about independence, yes, they did great things for us in 1947. But the people that actually keep it going are the people in your military that serve on the front lines, away from their families. Their wives and kids are deprived of their presence, and these guys risk their lives day after day. Especially in time of war, yeah, when shit hits the fan.
Correct. And we just had one.
Yeah.
We just had one,
Yeah.
correct?
Even in time of crisis, you guys are calling out to them all the time. We've got a flood call out to them, bring the military in
Yes.
and rescue people. You've got it's happening all the time, dude. And we don't. I genuinely don't believe we give them enough credence and thanks and the respect. Every time you meet somebody who served in the military, you normally would say thank you for your service. You know what I mean? So I don't want to confuse the two topics. Yes, Independence Day
Yes.
is the day we got our
We have
independence.
that.
Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, we in the UK we have Remembrance Sunday, so in November. So essentially, it's there's a poppy day parade. So they actually have all the military serving members, past and present, like marching down the Mall, like down Whitehall, I should say. And it's just lovely because obviously the BBC is amazing for having all of this historical content. And what I absolutely love is that they'll pick out people who served, or fathers or mothers who served, and all of that kind of stuff. And they tell their stories, and it brings it to life. It's those human stories because there's so much sacrifice. That, like you said, Mark, it's not just people who are serving, so their families are also sacrificing their own family life for the sake of the country.
Yeah, but
And
you know
it's
what?
so nice to be able to celebrate those people.
We also have a day in the States called Veterans Day where we celebrate our veterans. Yeah, but I don't want people to think that we're taking anything away from the Independence Day martyrs and all the people that went before us to afford us the freedoms we enjoy. You guys do in the UK. You make a big deal about it on your. The poppy is your symbol of your remembrance, right?
Yeah, it's the poppy fields in northern France. Obviously, it symbolised all those people that died and sacrificed their lives. So you've got all the poppy fields in northern France that kind of are a real symbol of that. You get the poppy and you basically contribute to the Royal British Legion, and obviously that's for service members, and doing community projects.
I want to talk. Listen, it is very well celebrated around the world. It is a big deal, but here again in India, do we have a separate day for military? We got Republic Day.
I think we have something called, correct me if I'm wrong, and my Hindi, it's called Vijay Diwas.
Baba Madzo.
Which remains the fallen soldier. That's one. But you're right. I agree. Now, for example, on Independence Day, do we have the what do you call the march, right, in Delhi?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in Delhi we have the parade,
but
and
that's
essentially you have your heads of state, and you have your politicians who are sitting in the podiums.
Understood.
And the military is giving you a parade. But I believe you should be having some of our heroes.
What do we do about it in Goa? What did we do for Independence Day?
Very similar.
No. What I'm saying is, right now, like the snowflake sitting right here in front of me, he mentioned about the fact that he's had to work so hard this week. My God. We run an office downstairs. We run a company that provides internet, and I hear these excuses. I'm not feeling well. Bike broke down. This, that, and the other. And I do want to get into it. I actually want to get into it more, Ajoy, about the fact that we don't take seriously enough the freedoms that we enjoy and the things, the hardships that the military go through to give us these. They don't have a chance to say, I don't feel well, I'm not going to fight the war today. There's a battle going on, I got a headache, I'm not coming to work today.
Yeah, there's no off for them.
Yeah. So that's the kind of people. When we did those promos, Neil, I like your promos, by the way. I want to reach out, and I'm going to use this opportunity for Independence Day, which is just gone, to talk about our military and just say thank you to all the brave men and women that serve this country, that continue to serve in times of whatever the crisis, whatever is needed. You've got a huge military of men and women. I just want to thank each and every one of you for your service, and that's what the show's dedicated to you about. We've got some information that you've collaborated, Ajoy. You've got some stuff together that I'd love to talk about. we take these things for granted. You know what? I don't even think we have anything that happened. You think they have something in Panjim for Independence Day? Was there?
Not that is military focused, that celebrates the men and women of the military, or whether they're the Air Force or the Army or the Navy. I think we should have, you're right, we should have more celebrations of their sacrifice and you know what, appreciation. What would you all do in America, for example, Merv? What would you do to commemorate your soldiers?
Veterans Day, we have a holiday, but there's always a parade.
A parade.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do on the parade? You have the military do the parade,
Yep.
but then how do you show appreciation to your soldiers?
Dude, it's celebrated. Every time you see anybody in uniform down the street, in a park, at the mall, whenever, you always say thank you. And I always think about the poor people. They're not marginalized. They get paid a pittance for a salary, but they serve because of their sense of duty and courage.
Correct.
They keep the military going, and the runts, the people that are, I don't mean to be this thing, but the lowest level, they get treated the worst. And as you work your way up and you get to the officer level, obviously you get treated better and better till you get to drivers and cooks and chefs. My Uncle Frank was in the Air Force. My brother-in-law's dad was in the Air Force, and I know Major. They get treated very, very well, and they deserve every bit of it. But these guys that serve, the men and women serve in the front line. When you had that Palgat, what is the thing in recently? Pakistan,
the Operation Sindoor.
So these guys are serving in some of the worst conditions.
Yes.
And they don't get the benefits that the officers obviously have made their way to where they are, but they don't get those benefits, and they don't have the fancy foods, and they get very, very basic amenities and rations and all this kind of stuff, and that's what I think is really, really tough.
And in the light of they have a new scheme now. Before, if you joined the army, you could stay with the army provided you did service diligently. You could stay in the army till you could retire and avail pensions and what have you. But now you have a new scheme called the Agniveer scheme, which basically, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are allowed to serve in the army. You have to fit a certain age, which is a young age. You stay in the army for 5 years, and after that, they will not employ you anymore. So imagine the risk one takes in those 5 years.
What do you mean they won't employ you anymore? That is being part of the military? You join the military?
If you join the military,
yeah,
you are allowed to, you will be part of the military for 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. And after 5 years, they will not employ you. They will let you go. So you will keep your life on hold, essentially, for 5 years. You'll probably get pension for the 5 years that you serve the army, and after that, no.
That's not active duty. What is that called? The reserves, right?
No, that's active duty. Essentially, they are trying to reduce the serving age of the army to make it more young. And more, do not have a large army, to have more focused army.
You're making this shit up, dude.
No, I'm serious. Let me check it out. While you're speaking, I'll just try and pick it up on.
Listen, all I'm saying, here again, I'm comparing night and day. I'm comparing different countries and back, whatever. In the States, they come to your college, they come to your school, they do recruitment. They try to get, there's so many benefits that you get for serving in the military. You get college education paid for, you get very, very well taken care of, basically, right? Here you don't, I've never seen any recruitment campaign or anybody trying to recruit for the military. You see them, we've got a Navy base here in Goa, in Reis Magos. You see the military once in a while on TV. You don't see any recruitment. And these guys have some of the hardest jobs in work. You got to train. You got to go through all of that to do what you do, right? It's not easy. What is the benefits? Like when you talk about recruitment, there's got to be a light at the end of the tunnel. You pay for your food, your resident, your home, there's benefits to having people want to join the military, and you don't have that. I don't see or hear about any of it here.
Essentially, this is the case with any army, right? The majority of the army is made up of your lower level, not even officers, but what we call Jawans. And
soldiers.
So they are the majority of your employed army men and women, and essentially they are. Many of these people actually just focus to get this. It's a job for them because it serves to uplift themselves and their family. They get a lot of benefits. They used to get a lot of benefits such as education for their family, healthcare, which they could not afford. So if you were to take that away from them, they have nothing, really speaking. So it's a big issue, right? And it's not a question. Yeah, these are the simple benefits one can give to somebody and their family when they are putting their life on their line. So I don't see...
The least you can do for these guys, right? You know what? I have another idea, and I wish they'd implement it in the States. The people that commit crimes that are no good to society, they should force them to be in the military.
That's what
Don't fill the goddamn prisons. You get these goddamn people out of prisons, put them in a very strict, just exactly what military training is about, right? You train them, you teach them how to march, you teach them how to serve, blah, blah, blah. It's only an idea, but I think it's a good idea.
That's what they're doing in Russia. They're sending all the criminals from their jails to Ukraine.
I think it's a great idea.
It's more like cat and fodder for them.
Yeah, but you know what, Ajay, I'm saying to you, even about the people that serve here in our Indian military, right? These guys, they get paid, whatever the case may be, but the job is hard.
It's very hard.
And you don't see any recruitment campaigns. And we're not talking about marginalized, but it's not the well-to-do big city boys that want to go and join the army for any reason.
Okay. By the way, I've pulled up some information regarding the Agniveer scheme. Would you like to hear?
Yes, I would.
Okay, so I'm going to read it to you. The Agniveer scheme, officially called the Agnipath scheme, is a recruitment program launched by the Government of India in June 2022 to enlist soldiers into the Indian Army, Navy and Air Force for short-term service. The key features are basically they serve for 4 years, including training.
4 years.
Okay, and their age limit should be between 17.5 to 21 years only, and basically your salary ranges from about 30,000 to about 40,000 per month by the 4th year. So you're going to be, by the first year, you're going to earn far less. And then after 4 years, each Agniveer gets a lump sum of 11.7 lakhs, tax-free, which includes their contribution plus government matching, which is basically your provident fund type of a payment. Okay, and they get a life insurance of 48 lakhs. And then 25% of Agniveers that are recruited may be retained. The rest 75% will be forced to take so-called
So
early
then what do? You get kicked out on the street and you go and do your thing.
So that's the thing, right?
But that's not bad, by the way. But I'm not saying. Listen, this is only my opinion. It's not a bad deal because then you've got the training, you've got that on your CV. I've served, I've learned, I've trained, I've done all this kind of stuff. You've got to head up when you go to the next job to serve it. No.
See,
and you're making a little bit of money for this, but it's still not an easy thing, dude.
Not an easy thing.
Shy.
But one benefit they say, that's what the army has claimed and the government is claiming, is that they've reduced the cost, human resource cost for the army and the navy, etc. Right? You're not spending too much on salaries, right? You're reducing as people retire, the old guys retire, then your size of your army becomes smaller and younger. So the younger you are, the idea is you'll be more fit, more ready for fighting. That is one. And the money that you would save there, the government had claimed that they will spend on technology, armed technology, your systems, etc., that is used for war and etc. The money would go there. So what do you think of that reasoning, Merv?
I think it's good. It's good to a degree. Like I'm just saying, I've seen a different world in the West, and I just we do the show because we love Goa specifically, but we are Indians first. And at the end of the day, you see all the stuff that happens here, and you've got to call it out. You've got to put it on a make people aware of it. Yeah. And I'm not trying to change anybody's mind. I'm not here to create any kind of stir the pot or anything. I'm just saying to you, the military people here, and on an Independence Day parade, I did didn't see jack.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, Mark, I speak about Mark all the time, mentioned that he got one phone call wishing him Independence Day from a German woman that lives here in Goa. Happy Independence Day. And our snowflakes here will send you messages on WhatsApp saying, hey, listen, happy Independence Day. You got a day off or whatever. You get all these goddamn, what are they called? Social media messages that are crap that are just AI generated. But nobody takes the time to realize what the significance of Independence Day. How did you get to be independent? You know what I mean?
From the freedom fighters to the armed forces, current and past. Correct. They've
People that have lost their lives in the military and the people, the freedom, like exactly what you said. I want to get into those details, by the way. I like what you showed me about that. We'll get talking about it. Joanne, are you still there? Yeah. I think she might have fallen asleep. Why is there such a huge delay, guys?
Inopportune moment because of the time delay.
Yes. I think the delay is because of the internet connection, maybe not so good, but it's okay.
It ain't a connection from here, baby. This internet connection rocking right here.
But Merv, before we go into the details about our achievements after 78 years of independence, one last question I have for you is: do you think that mandatory service should be made mandatory for kids that have reached a certain age?
Absolutely.
Like, even in a country with like India.
Absolutely. And the term that comes to mind is discipline. All of the world, people are made to serve. I don't care, and it's dutiful. It's you talk about I want to be a patriot. There's your chance to show how much of a patriot. It's not going to hurt you. It's going to toughen you up. Everywhere in the world, a lot of countries around the world, you are made to serve from a certain age. You've got to register, and you got made to serve, get the training or whatever. And it's not active duty, but if you decide you want to stay in the military, you can. But you get the training and you get paid for it. It's not. But this is exactly what I wanted to talk about, and that's the independence. The respect, the courage, all the adjectives that I'd love to use to talk about the people that do serve. Right. So if you have an age in any country, you've got to register and you've got to get trained. If there is a crisis, you're already halfway there, right?
Correct.
It's not a bad thing, Ajo. I think it's a great thing.
It's a great thing, and I think it will build a more disciplined nation, and we definitely need more discipline in this nation, right? And also, one important thing which we don't talk about is that in the army, it is the only religion they have is no religion. They don't allow you
They shouldn't. Absolutely. You shouldn't have a religion.
And imagine if you send every cook, and when I say a guy who's like extremist, whichever that may be, you send him into the army, and he's forced to live with people that he has an unnatural hatred, unreasonable hatred against. Imagine how that would transform this country and make us more united.
Good. That's another good suggestion. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I talked about people that are in jail, convicts, people that commit crimes, that break the rules, that are this thing criminals. What do they call career criminals? Right?
Yes.
Send them there, dude.
Teach them life skills through that process, and get them to be a part of society in a positive way. I think that'll have a
positive contribution.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So religion has nothing to take religion out of the military,
Yes.
which as it should be, right?
Yes.
I've got my own faith. I say my own prayers, and I'll continue to do that. But as a dutiful citizen, somebody who claims to be patriotic, I will go and register and do my training, and if needed, I will serve. That's not a problem, but that should be mandatory. And it's sad because this generation and this day and age, when you look at, that's why, you know what, that PPT, that what you showed me earlier, you generate. Joanne, by the way, do you in the UK, do you all have to register?
No, we don't. I mean, I know that years ago, like my mum's brothers, they had to do military service, so it was something that you had to actually enroll for. But they don't do that these days. But I know, like countries like Finland and stuff like that, they still do that. You have to go and serve, because I know people in Goa whose kids, have got Finnish passports, and they had to go and serve in the army. Over in Finland, they need to go and serve in the army, which I think, like you say, it's great discipline. And, I feel that in this day and age, we kind of do need to sort of get a lot more discipline in society, because, like, Mervyn said, there's too many snowflakes around, and that is across the world. That's not just in India, but it's just people expect, the world owes them something, but actually they could give an awful lot themselves in the first place. And one other thing I wanted to mention is like the territorial army. That's something that's really, really huge over here. The reservist army and stuff like that. And I know India has also got one, but that's something that instills great discipline. And obviously, people over here, they get even like amazing benefits. I remember I got to go to a Robbie Williams concert once because one of my friends who I worked with the territorial army. Yeah, and they got free tickets. They got free tickets to concerts and stuff, and she couldn't go, so I went. Friend Andrea, it was great.
You have active duty members. You've got reservists. You've got a lot of different types of military service that you can. I know people. You mentioned about Finland. We talk about a lot of the Scandinavian countries. Absolutely, it is mandatory. Register and get this. I know people that. What did I see in the news recently? Israelis that will run back to their country to serve when there's a crisis. People from Japan.
So they have to.
They have to. Absolutely, as it should be. You want to claim to be a patriot, get off the goddamn mobile phones and video games and go and serve and learn something and toughen up. Boys and girls, men and women. Japan, there's a lot of countries where people feel the need, the urgency, the discipline. They've been brought up the right way where they want to go and give back, basically. They want to join the military and serve a country in time of crisis. It's very common around the world, and that's exactly why I'm talking about. That's why we're doing this today. Ajoy, let's get into that, dude. Let's get more into that, yeah?
Okay.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get in touch, you can, as always, you can leave us a message. You can call us. All the social media handles, wherever you get your online social media, is on the screen right now. The Merv Brito Show, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all these different platforms. But we want to hear from you. Leave us a comment, like, share, subscribe. WhatsApp's the way to go, man.
Yes, and if there are any serving military men, armed forces men and women out there who'd like to give us a call, please do. We would want to extend a thank you to you personally, so please do call.
I'd love to thank you. 750-7246-246. We'd love to hear from you. I want to get into some more of these details. I was going to say, by the way, Shiva, if you're listening, dude, what's it sounding like? He called and complained to me, and a couple of other people called and complained to me. They were streaming the show on Instagram. And there was some kind of a time delay. It wasn't clean. Shiva, give me a call and tell me it's sounding clear or not, dude. I want to know. Ajoy, let's get into this. Yeah, I want to get into now after Independence Day. We had Independence Day on the 15th of August. Yes, 78 years of development, of change.
Yes,
and we thank all of the freedom fighters, and I can't name them all, but they've made such a huge difference, getting us the freedoms that we observe, the freedoms that we appreciate, the freedoms that we get and we take lightly. And I talk about the snowflakes, but that's exactly why. How do you, when you talk about Independence Day, celebrate and thank and give thanks to the people that did this? Let's hear some stats. I want to know about these numbers.
Yes, before we start, Marv, I just want to say at the outset that this is basic information that we as a small team could pull from the internet.
Okay.
And we have tried to keep it as accurate as possible. If there's any discrepancy, please do let us know. But we are trying our best to keep it accurate. But I believe this is pretty accurate because that's what was mentioned on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay. And the purpose of this discussion now is to gauge some of our achievements, which is amazing. Some amazing achievements have occurred since independence. But the question that we also have to raise is what's next and what is working and what is not working. So let's start this.
You're gonna get a bunch of riled up people when you start hearing these or start reading these stats, and that's how it should be. This is exactly why we do this show, to make people aware. We're not here to rabble-rouse or create any kind of controversy. We just bring these things to light. In 78 years of freedom, what are some of the stats? Where do we stand? And how do things look going forward?
Okay.
Take it away, Mr. Barreto.
So we'll start with our political and constitutional milestones. You know, of course, we got our independence on the 15th of August. Constitution of India came into effect in 1950. We had our first general elections in 1952. And a sorry state of affairs occurred in 75, 77, where there was a national emergency declared, which in a sense is diminishing of democracy, right? But we are back on track now. In 2025, we're good. One thing I feel was a very important milestone was the 73rd and 74th amendments introduced, which is basically the Panchayat Raj and Urban Local Governance Act.
More local control.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that next. And an amazing achievement in 2024, apparently, we recorded the highest ever absolute number of women voters in our general elections, I think, in 2024, which is amazing.
That's progress. That's forward progress,
That's
right?
forward progress.
I think that's brilliant, guys. Ajoy, I'm going to ask you. I'd love to. I'd like to take. We need to start doing that, dude. I want to get one of those lapel mics.
Yeah.
And I'd love to go out there like they do on the street and ask young people. Yeah, you're educated. You went to school. When is Republic Day? Or
Yes.
when is, that'd be, I guarantee Republic Day, Independence Day, a couple of these milestones, right? We've got a great education system here, but you enjoy the freedom. You get this day off on the 15th of August.
Yes.
Do you know anything about it? These are
Yes.
some of the facts that we need to bring to light.
Yes.
Take it away.
Okay, so about the 73rd, in terms of political and constitutional milestones, one issue that I feel is something that we should talk about right now is that in the 73rd Amendment Act 1992 and the 74th Amendment Act 1992, which essentially are mechanisms that give more power into the common people's hands to decide what happens in their local area, right?
Localized control.
Like, for example, in our panchayats, right, you have the ability to give input and say yes or no to things that happen around you that may affect your life because you stay in that area. So the question is, do you think we're taking advantage of this? And do you think this scheme or this amendment or this act is successful?
I'm saying to you, all of this on paper, brilliant. Constitution, brilliant. We're in 2025 where you've got technology that can make things happen. It's being done all around the world. You want to give local control. You decide in a localized area through the panchayat or whatever, your taluka, your whatever district, I don't want high-rise buildings, I don't want a big mall, blah, blah, blah. You should be able to manage and control that locally. And you've got people like Walter. We've interviewed Walter Lobo on the show. He's the kind of, exactly what I just spoke about, right? He goes out and he doesn't give a shit about who, what, where, when, and why. He brings these things to light. This is what's happening wrong in my neighborhood with potholes and development and the crookery and the corruption and all this kind of stuff. And he puts it out on social media, right? So he takes his responsibilities and he takes his patriotism, or he does his patriotism a different way to bring these problems to light.
I think
you've got these amendments which are brilliant. 73rd, 74th Amendment that give you local control. What good is it? How is it affecting me when I live here locally?
Exactly. See, just to give you an example, a part of this 73rd Amendment and for 74th Amendment, if you remember, we had done the Goa Viksit discussion with Joanna Perez, and she was trying to use these as a mechanism to better our lives. The question is, how many of us have taken advantage of this, and how many of us are actually participating in our futures, and not just our futures, the futures of the future generations, your children, right? So this is something that we need to introspect.
There's another guest we need to call. I'd love to speak to Joanna again, ask her how things went. That's technology working for you for the betterment of a country, of a nation, of every. They had that website where you can go and register and join. Joanna, you know more.
Act for Goa.
There you go.
Yes.
I'd love to call Joanna and find how that that went out because there was a deadline to when you could sign up for these changes, right?
Yes, correct.
I would love to find out from Joanna, get an update and figure out what it's.
Okay, so we'll try and get her on the phone.
Not today. I'm just saying to you, for progress, you don't have to do that today.
Okay.
Let's go through these.
All right. So now the next thing in terms of political and constitutional, achievements, is how strong is our electoral process, and right. So some big things that are happening right now is there's a question mark. Not by us, I'm talking about generally speaking. There's a question mark about the Election Commission of India, right? By the opposition parties. They've raised a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know if that's correct or if it's right or wrong, but the question is, it brings doubt into the electoral process. So what should the measures be used to counteract that? What do you think should be done, Murph?
Is it technology, mate? It's not rocket science. They're doing it around the world. Different countries, obviously, different sizes, financial, whatever. Listen, we're not talking about one size fits all, but countries around the world are doing it. You've had this big scandal with Rahul Gandhi, right?
Yes.
So this is exactly what this electoral integrity is about.
Yeah.
Why do we not have a simple system?
After 78 years, why don't we have that system?
Exactly. Why don't we have a system where people can vote on their phones? If you got banking systems where we're talking about very sensitive information, banking systems, OTP, 2FA, all these technological breakthroughs in 2025. After 78 years, you haven't figured out how to make voting scams obsolete? People can vote on their phones, your thumbprint, your whatever. You're still going to a flipping ballot box and putting ink on a nail? Banks, blockchain technology. There's so many positive, great developments in security that I genuinely wish and I pray for we use it to the betterment. So when you do have an election, whether it's local, state, government, whatever elections, you can do this at the ease of from your home. You don't need to go anywhere, but you can't, compromise the system? You can't take advantage of the system.
So you're saying where there's a will, there's technology.
Where there's a will, there's technology. But you know what? There's people that don't want that to happen, right?
Yeah. Now, for example, now again, this is just an allegation from the opposition party.
Not got it.
No, I'm asking the question. I'm talking about technology here. Apparently, when they asked for the voter lists, it was given to them in a printable form, which was not scannable. So you can't actually check it on the computer
Why?
That's the question.
Why?
If it's true, it's highly questionable. If you are trying to make a foolproof system, every effort you should keep up with the times. Every effort should be made to ensure that it's transparent and that you are able to quickly weed out bad elements from the system. So, and if you're not doing that, the question has to be raised, right?
One question, one 3-word question: why? Why not? Why not? Why not, right? So I'm here again, I'm saying to you, 2025, 78 years that this country has been independent, correct? And if the right people in power don't want to make the changes the right way or want to implement the changes, listen, if you want people to vote for you, win or lose, democracy means majority wins,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
But if you can't have the electoral process or the electoral process of how you vote for the leader from whatever the choices are, and there's no integrity, you don't have security. How can you have banking systems that are more secure than to be able to vote, right?
Yes.
You've got that in place already.
It should be
What's the problem?
on par, or the electoral process will be more secure than even the banking systems, in my opinion. It's so important. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, let's move.
Talking about media being...
Sorry, Joanne's going to say something. Joanne, can you get closer to your microphone? I can barely hear you, dude.
Really?
Not as good as yours.
I go by?
Is that better?
Mate, you gotta get a little louder. Can you get a little louder?
I've
got your team turned up. Sorry, go on. Song.
One thing I just wanted to mention, which I thought was really quite a major achievement, is India being one of the first countries to elect a female prime minister, because obviously, I know Indira Gandhi is quite a divisive character. However, to be elected in the 1960s was pretty progressive. So she was the second female prime minister. I think Sri Lanka was the first to get a female prime minister. But I think that was pretty groundbreaking for the 60s also.
Absolutely. What's the point? I don't understand the point. Listen, India's been very progressive, Joanne.
That's what I'm saying. That was very progressive for the 60s, and obviously she was, through to 1977. But this is like major achievements in in India's history, I believe. And I think, because I think Ajoy's going to come on to talk about it, that there just don't seem to be enough females in politics and in a lot of public life, basically in India, and there just need to be more, I feel.
I said this last week when Dr. Lloyd was here, by the way. Big shout out to Dr. Lloyd. When is his birthday, by the way?
23rd.
23rd. We're going to wish him for his birthday. I said this to Dr. Lloyd, there need to be more women in politics. He's got, when he mentioned about some people ask him all the time, are you going to try for more? You've got 2 daughters. Are you going to try to have a son or something like that? Women, I think women women do make the best politics. We've got women involved. India's a progressive country. We've had Indira, the great Indira Gandhi, whatever you think about her. The point that we're trying to make is after 78 years, Joanne, and India is such a brilliant, such a great country, and all of you Europeans and people that come here, we call them foreigners. I don't mean that in a bad way, but the people that are not Indian that come, you just say you've got so much potential.
Yeah.
Got so much potential. I get into these discussions with Mark all the time. You've got so many natural resources, talent. You've got educated people here have so many skills. We're going to get into sports and all these kind of stuff when we talk to them about it, but why are you still 78 years later still in these archaic systems? Is it because you want to keep people, I'm not going to say that, keep people down, but you want to keep, if you don't want to fix them, you're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem, man.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Mom always said that. You're either going to be part of the solution or you're going to be part of the problem. If you don't want to be part of the problem, figure out a way how to fix a problem, stop whining and complaining about it, but you've got the technology in place. What's stopping you?
And I want to say that the Merv Radio Show is all about being the part of the solution, right, Merv?
Absolutely. And by the way, I'm going to give a big shout out to Pramod Sawant. He's our CM. We, like I mentioned, in the business that we do, we've got to log in and onto a lot of different online portals to sign up and pay bills and fees and taxes and register and all that kind of stuff. He's taking it in the right direction. I'm not saying you're a fan or not. I'm not a fan or not, whatever. That doesn't make a difference. But our CM has got websites here that you can get all. It's part of what Joanna spoke about. Joanna Pierce talked about it. But I've registered and I've been so impressed by some of these sites where you can go and find out information about development in Goa. You can register this, that, and the other. It's all slowly being put online, as it should be, and have people have access with connections, with everybody's on their phones, 5G, 4G, whatever you've got. You can register and you can watch all the crap you want online. But you now have the opportunity to be able to log into these sites because all this information is online.
Yes.
Why 78 years later have we not changed the voting system?
Coming back to the points. Okay.
You've already been through this. Now, high voter turnout. Go through these. We can't. I won't go through these quickly.
So you need to have equal media for all parties, right? Transparent campaign. We have to have finance laws which are transparent, and there should be a cap on these campaign funding, so that you're fighting basis as per what you want to do for the country.
Ajay, there are laws about this, though.
Yeah, but it's not being implemented, Merv.
Baba, I couldn't get my friend rich marathon, so you got all these big names that are willing to put in money because they get the benefits from it, right? We're not stupid, guys. This has been happening for a long time. This is not something new. Laws are only going to be as good as the people that are going to enforce them. So you've got all these rules, transparent campaign finance laws, mate. You don't think people are paying money under the table? Why did we have, what's that thing where you got all the money, they changed what is it called? All the 2000 demonetization. Why? Because it's so straightforward and everybody's so straight and honest?
And about campaign finance capping. Remember, we had highlighted that some 36 crates of liquor or 36 lakhs of liquor was caught at the Karnataka-Goa border.
They came from Willie's house. It was homemade hooch, baby. Willie was making it at home.
But
I hope I had that much booze to sell.
So a question is, where was it going and for what purpose? So there is a connection between sorrow and vote. So and
sorrow, joy. Sorrow munta ko pio pa sorry.
And also biryani, also.
Like I'm saying to you guys, people are not stupid, and sadly, you don't have a voice. You can't. You've got the people. I mentioned Walter. You got Felly Gomes and all these local people that are not afraid to put their names and lives on the line to point out and to bring forth all of these things that are happening that are not right. So you've had all these rules in place. During the elections, they have dry days. Are you kidding me? That's going to make a change? That's going to make a difference if I have a dry day? There are so many things that happen. And my point, the reason I'm doing this show today, ladies and gentlemen, it's not for any other reason. It's to give you a platform and make people aware of. People already know about it. I'm just making people more aware of the fact, the things that are wrong in this beautiful country, in this brilliant state we call Goa, that are not being corrected and not being looked at and not being fixed 78 years later.
Which is a crying shame, because we know this country can do so much more. Right? We'll move on. Okay, then amendments, constitutional amendments, that there are questions about, is there one particular party trying to change the constitution, alter the core ideals of this country? These are questions that are some are valid, some may not be valid. These are things that we have to question and we should push back against, right? Federal balance. Now, there was a question, talk about one nation, one election. Now, it sounds simple enough, but this could have far-reaching consequences in terms of the federal structure.
You're talking about centralizing power versus constitutional norms.
Exactly.
Scary thing if you don't know what it means and you don't know how to implement it.
Yes, exactly. Right. So these are things that after 78 years, I can't believe we still have questioning about this. It should be a no-brainer. Nobody should be messing with the Constitution, and the federal structure should be kept in place. We have to have checks and balances in terms of the power structure, so that it's not abused. Right.
Absolutely, but you have to have people that are listen. You're only as good as your weakest link. No, that didn't make sense. You're only as good as the people that are actually monitoring and administering these laws. If in a small little place like Goa, for example, I keep coming back to Goa because that's what I know and that's what I talk about. If I've got a problem and I want to point something out, what do I got to take it out in a newspaper, on a radio? How do I get my point known? I'm just one little voice, right? But you need people that are, what's the word? Integrity.
Yep.
People that are trustworthy to implement these rules. You're talking about Panchayati Raj. You got these people, you got your collector, deputy collector, you got all these local officials, right? If you can't get something that is by the rules, done without bribes, you've got a problem locally. And that's what's scary. That's why all these rules and these big fat 5,000-page books mean nothing if the enforcement is not there. And by honest people. We've got loads of honest people, but everybody's trying to make a buck. And to get anything done nowadays, you've got to pay a bribe, sadly. So these rules are in place, but they're not being administered, no?
Exactly. And if you ask any army men, they would not be thinking as an individual. They'll be thinking of the country. And that's what even civilians have to start doing. So that's what I believe, right?
Do your duty.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Something that is really good, women participation is, we have a higher women turnout in recent elections, as I mentioned earlier, in 2024, the highest ever. Okay. Which shows that women are finally, are putting their foothold in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, right? But we have a long way to go. As you can see, if you go ahead, you have 15% only of the Lok Sabha making up the total number of elected officials, which is only 78 MPs of some, I believe, 500.
That's
500?
ridiculous,
right?
That is ridiculous.
In Rajya Sabha, only 14%, right? So this is far below the global average of 26%, if you look at it. So,
Yeah, but India is a patriarchal society. Hey, I'm saying, going to assembly, you have any women in there?
we have
You see all these guys fighting. Remember throwing the hats and all that BS. Do we have any women? I haven't seen one.
I wish there were more women fighting, then they will stop all of this ruckus, because the women always win those kind of fights, right? Move.
You're still single, aren't you? You're not married, are you?
For a reason.
No. All jokes aside, in our local assembly here in Goa, I've never seen a woman. Do we do?
We have.
Now, no.
I don't want to put the names out, because I'm going to say one thing. I think these people are just puppets. They are not there because they are there for women's rights. They should be there fighting for women's rights and being elected for women's issues, and thereby be in the parliament fighting on those issues, speaking from the women's perspective of society. Today we have people who are elected, who are there just to accomplish a group's cause. So,
But there again, it's exactly the point we're trying to make. 78 years of independence, and your political system still is a sham. I don't mean a sham. I'm not blaspheming. I'm not. Listen, I'm not.
It's not a
There's
sham.
a lot of flaws.
it's
right?
hypocritical.
Because it's not being implemented.
Yes.
Why you've got all the rules in the world, right? Why is it not being here are political forget about India, talk about Goa. I love this place. I am so this is the reason that I moved and I lived here. I am so into this place. Why are people allowed to jump parties? This I'll stand for election in this place in this district next time. I'll jump parties and stand for election here, there, blah blah blah.
Go to temple and go to the church and then swear that you.
But that's what I'm saying, right? You need people with integrity. You've got to have people that you can trust. You want to vote for somebody, you vote for somebody who's got the track record and the history, right? Otherwise, what's the use? All the rules and all the laws in the world, women should be a huge percent of
Absolutely. So that's something that we have to work on and make sure moving ahead we improve that percentage. Okay, so let's move on. Economic and development milestones. We have, we implemented our first 5-year plan in 1951. The question is, how many of these 5-year plans have been successful?
Which fucking country plans 5 years in advance?
Exactly, especially a country that is now in the throes of huge, economic development. You have to have like 25-year plans.
Of course.
And you should ensure that it's met, because your country and its people depend on it, right? So I was doing some research. I don't know how far this is true, but all these 5-year plans that we have, apparently the success rate is only 40%. Can you believe that? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the case. So, and if that's true, that's horrible. That means you're not meeting your goals, right, Murph?
Ladies and gentlemen, I got to say this. This is the Merv Britta show you're watching. I've got to say this information might be wrong. We have vetted as much as possible. It says right there in the bottom right-hand corner, Mr. Barretta, this is from ChatGPT, yeah?
Yes.
This is not rules and laws 100%, but we're talking about things that are the details and facts that we've been able to pull off the web to highlight the reason that we are where we are today, 78 years later. This is our opinions. What we make, the statements we make, and the things we talk about are not meant to create any kind of strife or any stir up any pots or piss anybody off. And I'm sure they're going to be upset people. But if you don't talk about these things will never change. So we're talking about these because we want more people to be aware and things potentially to change for the better.
And if you know better, please educate us. We're here to have a conversation. We're here to learn. And at the end of the day, we want to see a better India. So I don't think we can be faulted for that, right?
We're doing it for the right reasons. We're not doing it to stir the pot or create any kind of BS.
Yes.
These facts that there are opinions, first of all, and the Merv Britta show is doing what we do because we're passionate about Goa. That's the word I'm trying to. We're talking about this show is dedicated to Independence Day, and we're talking about the developments and potentially what we need to do going forward after 78 years.
Yes.
It's been done all around the world, Ajoy. It has to be done here in our own backyard. Sorry, go on.
So, Amov, you had mentioned earlier.
Bail ki jayta.
Sang.
Baba, I'll go by.
I want
Fuck, she speaks Konkani? Did you learn Konkani in 2 days? Go on, sorry, John.
I just wanted to surprise you. I just wanted to also remind you guys that there's the Viksit Bharat, which is the 2047 plan. So this is something that Joanna was talking about, which some of the work that they're doing is supposed to weave into that. Because they're looking to transform India, with the 100-year anniversary of independence. And I think there's also an aim for it to become a first world country by then as
What?
well. So they're obviously...
India?
Yeah.
To become a first world country by
Yes.
when?
By 2047. So
Okay.
there's a lot of planning in the background that's happening right now. Because obviously there's still a ways to go. But there is a more integrated plan, it seems like, and that's what some of Joanna's work was actually weaving into as well.
I mentioned Joanne. We want to call Joanna Perez, and I want to see what difference, if anything else we can do to help, but what difference all of these new technologies and these social media platforms, she mentioned a couple of websites. I've got the world's worst memory. I don't remember.
actforgoa.org and Goa Viksit. Just search these things on Google and you will find them. In fact, we'll put a link on our video
Please do.
description so that you can check them out.
All I remember is Vixit or Fix It.
No,
Or
well,
European. How does it-
it's an Independence Day special, mate. No, you're not going to go there.
I want to call Walter. I'm so tempted to call him and say, hey, man, what do you think? Walter. Oh, Walter. If you're listening, dude, I'd love to hear from you on this Independence Day, 78 years down the road, Mr. Lobo. What do you think? His posts are so entertaining. Walter Lobo is the man.
We got to do another show with him if he loves us. It'll be our pleasure and our honor, right?
Back to the topic at hand.
Yes. So yeah, one thing that you had mentioned, Merv, that one thing that in terms of products that have been created by India, one thing that we can be very proud of is like the UPI system that we've created in India, which is unbelievable, right? It's coming out of our IT and services sector, which we had a boom in 2000s. So that is something that I think we have a one-up on the world.
What, UPI?
Yeah.
What is that? You're talking about the payment QR
Payment
code?
system.
Oh, BS, bullshit.
Tell
It's
me,
been around for
do you have that in the US?
100%. Are you kidding?
UPI
All around
system.
the world. Forget about US. You've got it in half of Africa.
That's
UPI,
what-
of course, scan. That's not. Baba, this is not government. This is banking to make money. This is a capitalist market.
Maybe so, Merv, but
Then-
it is the banking apps piggy bank on a system which is government vetted, and that government vetting, in this case, because it's financial, it is a government achievement.
Why is it only because of financial gain? What about to make your voting system more bulletproof, blockchain, or it cannot be tampered. It cannot be manipulated.
Absolutely.
So QR codes and all these online payments, they're very secure. I use it all the time, and I agree with you. I'm not saying anything bad. I am saying the positive part that I'm putting on it is why can we not integrate this technology into the voting system?
Absolutely. If you can do something like the UPI system, then we definitely have no excuses for the voting thing.
And if the government wanted to do this, don't you think we'd have done it by now?
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
Fifth largest economy in the world. Is that based on population?
I would say that's based on population because, if we are the fifth largest, there are a few questions that we'll come to. And
Can you go back one? Sorry, I want to ask you about GST and all these different taxes, IT services. 2000s, the IT service sector boom. India becomes global outsourcing hub. 2016, goods and services GST passed, creating a unified national market. 2023, India becomes a world's fifth largest economy. Yes.
Yes.
All of these are developments. Great. Plan. Give them a round of applause. Great. I'm sure there's much more that we haven't highlighted. All I'm saying to you is that we collect crores and crores and billions of dollars worth of people's taxes.
Yes.
Are you honestly going to be able to say that you can see a difference? When you look out the window, you drive down the road, do you see a big difference in all the money that's been paid in taxes? Do you see it out there being put into the national system? Infrastructure.
Honest to God, and if I'm hand on my heart, if I'm honest, I do see improvements in public infrastructure like your bridges, right? Now, there's a caveat to that. The bridges, would they be world class? They're good. They're better than what we are used to in the past, right? But do they hold a candle to world-class infrastructure? In my opinion, my humble opinion, no. I could be wrong.
You want to be a first world country by 2047,
Yes.
right? You better get your skates on.
I'll give you an example, Murph. You go to the Arab Emirates, right? Yes, they have a huge money they have a
Oil
small,
money.
they have loads of money from oil, and they have a very small population compared to India. But essentially, when you, in terms of a metric or a comparison, the way of building a road in the United Arab Emirates should be the same that you build a road in India, right? How come their roads are so bloody smooth?
Because somebody along the way is not getting paid every time you repave the freaking road.
Yeah, another thing I remember. You remember?
Billy, don't be silly.
serious,
I'll
Murray.
slap you, bastard. Billy being silly, why are you laughing at me, man? Idiot.
Murph, in the Panjim Smart City,
Yeah.
they had put
Panjim Smart, there's an oxymoron.
Okay, they put these cobblestones. I actually saw the same cobblestones in Dubai. Put the same way, but those cobblestones are not coming out, Murray. They're still there. They're still placed where they put. In 1 week that they put it in Panjim, it's coming out. They're using for fishing, Murray. In Mandavi Bridge. I mean, you don't. You don't need to be building huge stuff. The small things give it away.
Listen. Don't. First of all, people are going to get pissed off because you're comparing us to the Emirates. They've got shitloads of oil money, but the money's spent and the technology's implemented
What
properly.
technology do you need to put bloody cobblestones properly, Re Baba?
Sir, Matzo Ike, sir.
Son.
If you pave a road properly, that road doesn't need paving for 5 years.
Exactly.
So you mentioned it. One of your cousins or somebody's got a business where he saw and he didn't.
Joanne's.
No, is it Joanne?
My cousin is a civil engineer in Australia. Joanne's cousin has a road refurbishment business.
Of course. That's Dominic.
Yes.
They've got a company that builds machines that fix potholes. You were talking about repaving. Your cousin had a shit fit when he saw how they repaved
He couldn't
the roads.
believe it.
So why are we talking about something that everybody knows is a freaking
No,
joke?
but we're talking about it because we want to change. This cannot go on forever.
Potholes, mate. I went to Saligan. I'm from Saligan. I speak so highly about the village, the best village in Goa, and I still believe that, by the way. Mate, I had kidney pain by the time I got done driving those fucking roads. It was like I was in a boat. My Scorpio was... My God.
Your kidney stones were taken care of?
If I picked up a liter of milk when I started, by the time I finished, I'd have a milkshake. It is a shame. It's a joke. So you can collect all the money you want in taxes.
Yeah.
Half of that money, or what? I'm not trying to be. No, again, I'm not. I have no idea. But it's not being spent properly. You can have all the rules and regulations in 78 years, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. There needs to be more change for the better. Technology, make it your friend, use it, but enforce it, implement it properly. No.
Absolutely.
Okay, next, let's move on.
Okay,
Sorry.
something like really nice to talk about is sports, of course. We've done a lot. One thing is, if you remember, hockey was our national sport, if I'm not mistaken,
Shut
right?
up. Cricket's the national.
Now it is. No,
Not
hockey. We actually were initially the first sports that we were most successful in was hockey. In fact, we won the Olympic gold in 1948, 52, 56. What happened to hockey? We're doing well, but we could have been world beaters. Why are we not doing well in hockey? But these are great achievements, but we want more.
Dude, come on, man. We're not... Great achievements. Don't get me started. I know I'm on the air. I'm talking in front of a microphone and people can hear me. With a population of 1.4 billion. Mark, if you're listening, call into the goddamn show right now. Let's call a spade a spade. How's your Olympic team, Ajoy? Willie? Huh? What World Cup did you enter last? When?
We won bronze in the
2020
2020 Tokyo Olympics.
You can't listen. Move on. I don't care. Great. And here again, I have to say, give credit where it's due. Yeah, you won in 1948 London Olympics. What? 52 Helsinki, 56 Melbourne. Whatever. Dominated hockey. What have you done since? When's the last time you've heard of India dominate? They've got a great team. They've got coaches and all. You should be killing it. So Phil, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, can I ask you? Should sports be a priority in India?
Absolutely.
Considering that.
Absolutely. Why not? Women,
despite the poverty, etc.,
sports, government, you've got enough people that can manage these individual departments, right? Why can't sport be a very, very keep going? Sports achievement. Let's see what else you got.
Football. This is Mark's specialty.
So tell me about World Cup. Tell me about Olympic. Tell me about anything other than Asian Games.
Apparently, we did very well in the World Cup in the 1940s. In fact, we were, if I'm not mistaken, there's a popular folklore, if not the truth, that we were disqualified because we were playing without shoes.
Shut up. When?
Yeah.
Chappal, moja galon? Are you serious?
Yeah.
We got disqualified playing barefoot.
Yep.
For what sport? Where?
Football.
Where?
In the World Cup. In the World Cup.
When was this? 1845?
No, 1940s.
That is third, mare. Aapta Adidas asa na tha. Nike asa mare.
But this is a big issue. What the hell? Why aren't we doing better in football? We have such a big football-loving country.
You've got the talent. You've got the skill. You've got the people. You've got everything you want. It's a beautiful country, guys. In 2017, India broke into the top 100. You're proud of that? FIFA ranking, you should be in the top fucking 10.
Yes.
Why don't we have better representation around the world playing football, hockey, cricket, whatever? Cricket, you're killing it. Obviously, everybody. That's the national sport, by the way, isn't it?
No.
Hockey, right?
Hockey.
Shi Baba Matsu.
And I recommend people.
I'm embarrassed.
I recommend people go watch our interview with Mark Seagraves, where he explains his frustration and essentially our frustration with developing football in India. So please do go watch that.
You know, I got to tell you, he's one of my best mates. Yeah, they named a stadium in the cricket stadium after him.
Really?
His idea.
Where?
What's the famous cricket stadium in Bombay?
No ways. You're kidding me, mate.
Chinnaswamy Stadium.
Wankaday.
Not Chinnaswamy. Wankaday, yeah?
Wankaday Stadium.
That is the name.
I had to do it. I'm sorry. Let's move on. Go on. Football.
Speaking of football, one of our viewers had messaged us the harsh reality of Indian football, especially in Goa. So players and coaches face delayed payments and salaries and all, it seems. So
What is this?
one of our viewers had messaged us.
Oh, yeah? Well, who?
Yeah.
What is the name? Let me know.
Better to stay anonymous.
Anonymous. Okay, we'll call him Mr. Anonymous.
Mrs. Anonymous.
Mrs. Anonymous. Sorry, read it out, babe.
So since they were getting less salaries and delayed salaries, like people, they tend to opt out of sports altogether and they go to work on cruise ships and all. So you can say the clubs and all are responsible for this, and like they're falling behind budget. Despite of having a huge budget for sports, where is the funds going? You can say the same thing for all the other sports as well, like cricket, football. Like we have the population, we definitely have the talent, but where is the talent?
It is something that we're highlighting today. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Merv Brito Show, and we on this episode are highlighting the achievements after 78 years of independence. We want people to make their thoughts and whatever you want to say. We're not limiting anything you want to say. This young lady's made a very good point. If you're not getting paid on time, how do you pay your bills? But the fact of the matter remains, this is not something new. This is not something that's just happening. This has been happening for a very long time. And the whole idea of doing this show is to make people aware of it. And how does it change? When does it change? Who changes it? Kind of thing, you know? We thank you, whoever Anonymous was. Thank you for that comment.
Keep them coming.
Keep them coming.
Yeah, moving on now. Cricket, as you know, we have illustrious achievements in cricket, as you can see. Shall I move on? Or you
No, I don't want to talk about cricket. India is one of the best, obviously. obviously in cricket. Yeah. But I don't want to talk about it. Great achievement.
Great achievements, and congratulations to the Indian team as we speak.
Yeah,
They've done a lot in England, or they're doing well in the series, right?
they're always winning, dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to. They're great. I'm taking nothing away. Well done.
Sponsorships.
Yeah. Badminton, of course, we have people like Saina Nehwal, PV Sindhu.
No, she was in the Olympics. Saina Nehwal was in the Olympics, right?
She won the Olympic bronze in 2012, and she was the world number one in 2015.
Baba, we should have 10 Sanya Nehwals.
Yeah.
What's the name? Sanya Nehwal, sorry.
Sanya Nehwal.
Nehwal. We should have 10 of them. Not just Sanya Nehwals. We should have loads of people representing this beautiful country in every sport, in every discipline, from football, cricket, not only of the popular ones, but you've got the talent. If these poor people are not getting paid on time, how do they pay their bills? They've got to get a job. They can't focus on their careers.
Correct.
All over the world, you've got the top-rated athletes that all through their life, they're being helped by the government. They're being sponsored. They're getting money to focus and represent their countries and be the best in all of these different sports, right?
Correct.
How can you expect our Indians to compete on a world level?
Correct. Obviously, you have to have a system which supports talents. Go ahead.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, as I've mentioned before, okay, the National Lottery was set up over here in order to put money back into sports and community projects. So that was something that was a major goal, that we needed to invest more money in our sporting talent. And that's why the UK has really flourished in more recent years with their sporting achievements, and the British cycling team, the rowing teams, all of those things. But it's basically been, a government project and a national lottery that people obviously they contribute.
You turn the echo on us, and all of a sudden the echo.
It's the.
Sorry, Joanne, I interrupted you. There's a big echo. I could hear a big echo. I don't know if it's
I'm
going
just
on.
saying.
Go on.
Okay. All I'm saying is it's just actually people, a regular man in the street is actually helping people here in their sporting prowess, and obviously allowing people to, have the money for the training and to support themselves, because obviously, you have to put in a lot of time, effort and energy to become great at any sport, and it's got to come from a passion and
I understand.
Amazing talent. So,
I understand.
Something.
If your legal system, by the way, and the system that checks and balances, if your legal system, every time you find something wrong and you take somebody to court to highlight and fix the problem, if your legal system is going to take you 20 years, how good is your system going to be overall? You guys have a lot of things that we should have implemented many, many years ago in the UK. By the way, y'all play football in the UK. Do they play football there?
Funny.
I
You remember the Lionesses?
The Lionesses. Yeah, the women's team, dude. Why don't we have a women's team? Why shouldn't we have a women's football team?
We do. And in fact,
you know what the women's team is called here in India? I don't. I'm not making a joke.
That's a shame.
So that's a shame.
Yes, I agree.
Do you not have a budget for sports? Do you not have a budget for women's football?
And in fact, Joanne and Mark knew more about the Indian football team, women's football team, than we did, which is shame on me. I'll just say that. Shame on me, man.
You should research that, by the way. We should know. Ajwa, we're talking about this stuff, and it's not for any other reason. We're having a laugh in between. But a lot of these topics are very serious, and it's scary because it doesn't seem like it's going to change. I've always said to you, with the advancement, with the change in technology, with the brain power we have in this country, it seems unlimited. But we need to make sure that politics, people that we actually vote for, people that we put in office, are the kind of people that can be trusted, the people that kind of actually have the right objectives, motives to do the right thing and change this place, whether it's on a national level, whether it's on state or a local level, even in your local panchayat. People are scared off by going to their panchayats because they think they're going to get in trouble. They got to worship the ground, the punches and the sarpanch walks on.
Yeah.
Mate, they're there to serve you.
Absolutely.
Police are there to serve you. These are government servants. They're there
Yes.
to do a job. You shouldn't have to be afraid. You shouldn't have to
Afraid.
bribe. You should be able to
Exactly.
get things done. And until that changes, 2047, first world country,
Yeah. You might as well kiss it goodbye.
my hair will start growing by
Yeah.
then. Man. I'm not going to hold my breath. Anyway, let's go on.
Yeah, okay.
Badminton.
So we have athletics. We did very well.
We'll go through this
Yeah.
quickly, yeah?
We had
Joe.
Milkha Singh, who did got fourth in the 400 meter, Olympics, I guess. PT Usha, Neeraj Chopra, who's doing very well in javelin throw, representing us so well. And another thing, the women's athletic athletes are doing so well. I think we had a girl some time back who was representing us in gymnastics. I think, the women are leading the way, and I'm telling you, they will make the change that we want to see in India.
Take nothing away from it. My question is, again, 78 years later, why don't we have more? We should be asking these questions. Why don't we have more? You expect more from your leaders, right?
Yes.
Why don't we have more? Come on, we're going to tennis.
So tennis, Leander Pace,
Mahesh
we have people
Bhupathi.
like Mahesh Bhupathi, Sania Mirza, who've done great things.
What happened after them?
I don't know.
1996.
Mahesh Bhupathi apparently has an amazing tennis academy in Bangalore.
Baba.
So I don't know. I know there's some young players out there, but we are yet to see the fruits of their labor.
When's the last time you saw, I know Leander Paye's name, I know Mahesh Bhupathi's name, Sania Mirza, all these, they're great players, take nothing away. Why don't we have that cycle continue?
It should be continued, right?
Next.
Yeah. And one on a small note, I think Leander Paye's lost his dad recently, so our condolences.
Definitely.
Yes. Moving on, wrestling and combat sports. We have a huge wrestling culture in this country.
WWE or proper wrestling?
No, the proper wrestling.
Baba, tumi tuka fotalo, huh? Wrestling mo naka.
We also had
Kusti, more Kusti. You've heard the word before?
yeah, Kusti.
Kusti, Baba. We don't say wrestling fancy, but to.
Right, Kusti with the Kashti. Kusti with the Kashti, right?
No. Could you imagine doing Kusti in a
Yeah,
cast?
they do. In that, yes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if your fruit comes out the loom?
It's all part of the wrestling, baby. It's another hole you can use.
Oh my God.
It's like sumo wrestling.
Yeah, but sumo, well, that's true. Okay.
But you know what? There was a big controversy recently, as you
What
know.
about?
There's instances of alleged harassment against women wrestlers, and they came out on the streets. There was a big issue. I hope that's all settled out. And
It happens all over the world. They've had that doctor molesting all those
Yeah.
kids in the U.S., dude.
But you know what? I believe you should don't bother about the other countries. What are we doing in our country is what matters, right?
Absolutely. 78 years later.
Yes. Okay, moving on. We have stalwarts in chess, Vishwanath Anand. We have some guys who are doing great right now, who are world champions. Gukesh is not one that comes to mind.
There you go. I see 2008. Abhinav Bindra, 2008.
Yes.
Brilliant. Beijing.
Yeah, Abhinav Bindra, interestingly, is an example of what, if we had proper funding, what we could achieve. Now, Abhinav Bindra, well-heeled, he came from a industrial family. They were well-to-do. He built his own shooting range, etc., etc. Got the best of coaches, and he won. No, nothing taking away from him. My point is, if we had that on a broader scale with support from the government, you would see more goals coming from us.
Abhinav Bindra was one of the lucky ones because he had the funds to do
Yeah.
that. We don't have that all the time, right?
But maybe we should make
that's
those.
where your government steps in, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
2020, I see, who's this? Mirabai Chanufo, weightlifting.
Yeah.
2020, that's good. That's just progress, dude. But I'm taking nothing away. I love all these names. I love to see these names. And well done. Congratulations. You make us all proud. My simple question is, why don't we have more?
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, and we have table tennis, Paralympics.
Paralympics 2016, 2020. There you go. Who's these people?
Avani Lekha.
Say that name, dude. Mariappan
Mariappan T.
Tangavelu. Yeah. High jump
gold,
2016. Avani Lekhara. Shooting 2020. India has become a major force in Paralympic sports. Absolutely. Brilliant. This is more recent, which is stuff that you should be proud. That's the change you want to see. Okay.
All right. Moving on. Science, space, and technology achievements. I think you know where this is going. Apart from our nuclear test, which again was more for deterrence, I think one of the biggest and proudest moments is our abilities in space, especially by ISRO, ISRO. And with the limited budget that they have, they've managed to achieve amazing things, and it really makes me proud as an Indian after 78 years to see that happening. And we are one of the few countries who have achieved that. So hats off to those guys, and I hope we are going to see more achievements from them, I'm sure. Right?
You know what scares me?
What?
We've already talked about the fact that we don't have more significance in sports and different things around the world. Something that bothers me is, as a country this large, 1.4 billion people, yeah, they've got a lot of problems. You're not hearing anything about the advancements in technologies with semiconductors, supercomputers. Everybody else in the world has got so much money involved in semiconductors and supercomputing.
Correct.
And when's the last time you heard that in India?
Actually, there is one company which is developing processors for mobile phones, but those are really on the weaker side, so it is not really integrated in many devices, but it's there.
India is becoming a leading in mobile phones, by the way. Mobile phone takes are semiconductors, right?
Yes.
They've taken over all the Apple production supposedly happening now in India, right?
Yep.
Okay. That's a good thing. But I'm saying to you guys, I keep banging the same drum. I just want to see better things happen. It's taken us 78 years to get this far. Enough of the excuses.
So I think that's an interesting point you've raised. I think in 78 years, we have had a huge number of Indians leave our country, those especially educated Indians. We need to bring those people back, or have educated Indians stay back so that we don't have a brain drain. And that I think with when you give people a vision and you can show them that we are working towards it, they will stay back and they will contribute to this country. And I think we would see more innovation and more manufacturing. Right now, I don't think we're coming up with products like Apple, right? Like an Apple computer. We're not able to do that for ourselves. I think we should now push very heavily towards that end.
We've got the brain power here. Don't take it.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted, mate. You've got the brain power. You've got the money. You've got everything you could potentially want in this country. Natural resources, talent, education, everything. It just needs to be managed and run properly from the top down.
Correct.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Merv Breda Show. Ajoy, thank you so much for that. That was really, really impressive. I like those. This is not something to be big and detailed and heavy and belabored, but these are just things to make people aware of. We wanted to take this opportunity to thank all the men and women that have and continue to serve in our military, and just want to say thank you so much for your service. But even the fact that you did this today, we didn't have a guest today. We're not gonna do a guest for a little while. We want to highlight different topics and make people aware and talk about things. There's nothing wrong with bringing these to the forefront to make people more aware. Thank you, Ajoy. That was actually good, dude.
No, it's an interesting conversation.
Well,
Joanne, any last thoughts? I'm hungry. Fucking hell, I want a shawarma. Hey, we need to talk about these local talents here we got right here in Para. I want to give what's his name, Morris, a shout out. The best shawarmas, my favorite shawarma, Mr. Morris Goes, and next door to Morris is Ida Fernandez. Makes the best sandwiches right here at Para Circle. You know what I'm gonna do, Ajo? I'm gonna have a contest. Can we do that? I want to get into some of these viewer comments and some of these. Next show, we'll do a full show on viewer comments.
Yes.
And the winner, we'll give away some prizes.
Yes.
Neil, let's do this, yeah? And I will give you an opportunity for half an hour. You can go and eat all the shawarmas and the sandwiches you want, and I will pay for it. We want to celebrate our local businesses and promote our local businesses. So these are my favorite places. I'm hungry, and I'm talking about I'm getting more hungry. Joanne, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What's going on, my dear? When are you coming back? Are you coming back?
So,
Couldn't be that lucky. I changed the locks already, sweetie. I'm moving.
oh, there you go. Fair enough. Oh, you're taking the studio with you. Okay, I can have a little.
I'm a fashion designer.
So,
Go on.
was you just to keep us very up to date, that India became the 4th largest economy in the world this year. So that was just an additional update I just wanted
Very
to
good.
bring to, because I think we spoke about it a couple of episodes ago, in fact.
Yes, indeed.
So it surpassed Japan, and it's achieved the milestone of $4.19 trillion. according to the
Fourth largest economy, yeah?
Yeah, and they feel they're on track to become the third largest economy as well. And also, another thing is to shout out the blue tigresses. That's the Indian female football team. So
what are they called?
Obviously, like you are absolutely right.
Blue tigresses.
That's a silly name.
No. Blue is
Blue,
India.
why won't you call them the tigresses?
Why would it?
Why blue?
If you call, which is the
Well, they
IPL
were
team that's called Tigers?
They had blue.
Bengal Tigers, right?
Baba, the tigresses, obviously female team.
Anyway,
They can call the UK team the lionesses. No?
And why not tigresses then?
Why blue? Nakare. Okay, we're going to bring this to a close, ladies. I can't believe we've been on the air for 1.5 hours. Joy.
Yeah, Merv.
Hello.
I know. It's been a long time. But I'll tell you what, this is a hot topic that will never end. And also, I want to tell Joanne that yes, we are progressing into fourth largest economy. That's great. I'm so happy. But on the ground, we still have a very high poverty index. We are one of the. We were checking this before the show. Do you know? In terms of the poverty hunger index, we are ranked lower than Ethiopia.
That's a shame, by the way.
That's crazy.
We didn't get to that. We didn't even talk about that. But such a large country with such a large population, so rich in everything, we're below. Ethiopia was 105. We're 110. 110 out of a list of 127.
Yeah. No. We are 105 and Ethiopia is 102 or something. Seriously, if you fourth, fifth, first, I don't care. As you know what, it doesn't matter if you can't uplift the poor in this country, and we have failed miserably for 78 years. We have to do better than that, guys.
We were considered the breadbasket of the world or something. No, India's the breadbasket or something, right? The number one something or very high producer of rice. We should be able to feed people.
Exactly.
What happened to the poor farmers and all the people that cultivated the land for so? That's a whole different can of worms, by the way. All our fields now, they're being backfilled. Villa Korea, Mariami Villa.
Yeah.
Rental bhadanche business.
Yeah, you can see live filling of the lands in Giriam itself.
Yes, and not to mention another sad statistic. In 78 years, we have one of the highest suicide rates of farmers in this country. It's a shame.
That's a fucking shame. That bothers me. That really annoys me.
That's a shame.
Suicide amongst farmers. And these guys are getting screwed left, right, and center. It shouldn't be that way.
Guys, the army, yes, very important. They are the stalwarts of this country, but it's also the farmers. Remember, they are the guys who feed you. So let's not forget about them.
Out of 127 or something, right? We were 105 or
105.
Worse than Ethiopia. Wow.
Shocking.
Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I thank you so much for joining us for another live edition of the Merv Brito Show. We do this every Sunday at 6 p.m. Joanne, we're going to do, you're not back next week either. We're going to do a show next week, and we tribute it to our listeners, the people that get involved, the subscribers, the likers, the sharers, because it's pointless to have an interactive show and we don't get the time to do what I love to do, is interact with people. We've had phone calls and messages, and I kid you not, I really do appreciate it. We do read some, I don't read them all, but we read a lot of these messages. Ajo, we need to do a couple of contests.
Yes.
For next week.
Yes.
We'll read some of the content. I can't speak anymore. I'm so hungry. We're going to read some of the comments that have come into us from our listeners, viewers. As always, please like, share, subscribe. We're on all the social media pages, but YouTube, Facebook, what is it? YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Neil, what are you trying to promote, dude? All sagale mix mare. Get on there, leave us a like, leave us a comment, but please like, share, subscribe. We're going to dedicate the next Sunday show to our listeners and read out some of the comments. We want to have a couple of contests, yeah?
Yes.
Food contest. Jonas or Jonah?
Yeah, yes.
Jonas.
We would appreciate you guys for listening to us.
There are a lot of people that have left some really, really nice messages, and there's too many to read right now. We will do the whole whole show about this next week. We will talk about some fun topics, but we will dedicate next week's show to the listener. So if you want to have something read or make something known, like, share, subscribe. No, leave a comment first.
Yes.
But we do appreciate you liking, sharing, and subscribing on all the platforms. We put out content and reels every week, and we do appreciate the support and the love. Joanne, I hope you have a brilliant week ahead of you. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with us, as you always do. Any last comments, my dear?
Well, I just wanted to say, once again, bearing in mind that we wanted to celebrate Independence Day, I was very happy to see when I was going through Mumbai Airport a really lovely installation actually for the 78 years of independence. It was a really, really nice installation just after the passport control area. So, I think it's been great that we've been able to say thank you and obviously celebrate everybody that has given India its freedom and its independence and then continues to do so. And obviously we just want to advocate for, a happier, more peaceful lifestyle, basically. And also uplifting a lot of these poorer people who, can't really help themselves so much these days. It would be just so much nicer.
Baba, we need to get you a new internet connection. If you want a good internet connection, by the way, here and go, contact Infinite. Joanne, you definitely don't have an infinite connection. You're sounding...
I think you guys need a branch in Ireland.
Not even close. She's still in the UK. Okay, sweetie. I agree with you 100%. We need to see positive change, and we're not trying to be Debbie Downers and talk about all the bad that's happening. We're just trying to highlight it and make people aware of it. But we do this with good intentions. 78 years of freedom for everybody that came before us, that paved the way, for all of the, what is it? The benefits? What is it called? What are the things that we appreciate?
Freedom.
The freedom. Yeah, freedoms is a huge part of it, for all the nice things that we get to enjoy.
And take for granted.
And shouldn't take for granted, like Snowflake over here. Thank you for your service. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe the videos. Until next Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Merv Brito Show. Take care of yourselves and take care of one another.
Merv, before you go, you have to say those two words.
Get it?
Jai Hind.
What does Jai Hind mean?
Means...
Jai Hind.
Yeah, basically, we are basically saying, go
respect.
India.
Yeah, go India. Jai Hind. But what is the actual meaning of Jai Hind, by the way?
Long live India.
Long live India. Jai Hind. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week.